Chosen one, stop for a moment and listen with your heart, because what I'm about to tell you is not ordinary, it is eternal. Today, what you did, yes, the choices you made, the patience you held, the mercy you showed, and the sincerity behind every action, it did not go unnoticed. Not by people, not by the world, but by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Today, you touched heaven. Every step you took, every word you whispered, every act done purely for His pleasure resonated in the heavens. Angels celebrated quietly, the unseen witnessed your devotion, and the most merciful was beyond delighted with what you did. This is not just a day, it is a milestone in your journey as a chosen one. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, we will uncover 7 powerful lessons that will reveal how Allah sees, celebrates, and rewards you in ways no one else can. Chosen one, never underestimate the power of what you consider small, ordinary, or invisible, because in the eyes of Allah, every single act performed with sincerity, no matter how tiny it appears to the world, carries immense weight and eternal significance. That quiet prayer you whispered when no one was watching, that moment you resisted an anger that threatened to consume you, that simple smile you offered to a stranger, the patience you displayed when the world pressed heavily upon your shoulders, or the mercy you extended to someone who did not deserve it, these are not mere gestures. They are monumental acts in the divine scale, and today Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala delighted in them, not because of their size, but because of the purity behind them, because every act done solely for His pleasure is recorded by angels and magnified in ways no human mind can comprehend. And even when the world fails to recognize your efforts, even when your heart feels unnoticed, even when the noise of disbelief or ingratitude surrounds you, Allah's gaze does not waver, His delight does not falter, and the heavens themselves celebrate your devotion. Chosen one, understand this truth deeply. What you did today, what you resisted, what you forgave, what you persevered through, and what you offered in sincerity was more than a mere act. It was a testament to your closeness to your Creator, a proof that your heart is aligned with divine pleasure, and a reminder that no act done for Allah, no matter how small it seems to you, is ever wasted, uncelebrated, or unnoticed, because every act of faith, patience, kindness, and obedience is a light that reaches the heavens and echoes in eternity. And today, by Allah's will, your smallest deeds were not only seen, they were cherished, honored, and celebrated in ways that transcend human understanding, leaving you spiritually elevated, divinely recognized, and closer than ever to the pleasure of the most merciful. Chosen one, understand this truth with unwavering certainty. Your obedience to Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, is not just a personal act. It resonates far beyond what the human eye can see, and it inspires the unseen, including the angels who are constantly observing, recording, and glorifying the deeds of those who walk the path of sincerity and faith. Every moment you choose patience over anger, every act of worship performed with pure intention, every restraint from sin, and every effort to speak the truth in the face of adversity is noticed and celebrated in the heavens, because the angels are not mere witnesses, they are moved, uplifted, and inspired by your commitment to Allah, and your devotion creates a ripple that spreads through realms unseen, reminding the celestial beings of the beauty of human sincerity, the strength of a heart that fears no one but Allah, and the power of a soul aligned with divine pleasure. Chosen one, when you obey Allah quietly, without seeking attention, when you give in secret, pray in solitude, fast when no one is watching, forgive those who wronged you, and act in humility, angels themselves rejoice on your behalf. They record your actions with reverence, and they carry your good deeds up to the heavens as evidence of your unwavering commitment, so that today, by Allah's will, your obedience has not only brought you closer to Him, It has stirred the unseen in awe, created a sanctuary of divine recognition around you, and established a spiritual momentum that protects, elevates, and empowers you in ways that no worldly measure can capture. Never doubt that your actions, however private or quiet they may seem, are monumental in the eyes of the most merciful, because every choice to submit, to serve, and to obey ignites a light that angels themselves are inspired by, a light that strengthens your soul, secures your path, and confirms, with absolute certainty, that you are walking in alignment with Allah's will, moving forward in a destiny that is being orchestrated by the heavens, honored by the angels, and celebrated by the Creator Himself. Chosen one, understand this reality with your heart fully open. Every trial, every test, every difficulty that touched you today or that has shaped your journey was never a punishment, but a profound sign of your elevation in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because the path of the chosen is never free of struggle, and every hardship is a sacred indicator that you are being prepared for a destiny far greater than what the world can comprehend. Know this: when the world presses you, when betrayal stings, when disappointment cuts deep, and when patience is all that remains between you and despair, these moments are not signs of weakness but badges of divine honor, because Allah measures your worth not by ease or comfort, but by steadfastness, sincerity, and faith under pressure. Chosen one, every trial you endured today, whether large or small, visible or invisible, was a proof to the heavens that your heart is resilient, that your spirit is aligned with divine purpose, and that your soul is being sculpted for heights that cannot be reached by those who walk only in comfort. The obstacles that tried to halt your steps were themselves tools in Allah's hands, refining your character, fortifying your resolve, and preparing you to handle responsibilities, blessings, and secrets that others could never carry. Because elevation is not granted in ease, it is forged in adversity, in moments when your faith refuses to bend, when your patience surpasses human limits, and when your trust in Allah becomes absolute, unshakable, and unwavering. Today, by Allah's grace, the trials you faced were not merely tests of endurance, they were confirmations of your closeness to your Lord, visible in the unseen realm where angels watched, recorded, and celebrated your resilience, where divine approval descended quietly upon your heart, and where your spiritual status as a chosen one was not just recognized but honored. Because every hardship you overcame, every burden you bore with grace, every temptation resisted, every injustice endured without compromising your integrity, is proof that you are being elevated above ordinary measures, that your path is divinely protected, and that Allah's delight in you grows with every trial that you transform into patience, obedience, and submission. Know this, chosen one. Today's struggles were not obstacles, they were milestones, and by enduring them with faith, you did not merely survive, you ascended spiritually, touched heights unseen, and left an indelible mark of devotion that heaven itself celebrates in quiet awe. Chosen one, listen carefully, for this truth holds the power to transform the way you view every action you take. Sincerity is not just a quality, it is the divine force that turns ordinary deeds into extraordinary miracles, and it is the essence that draws the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon every movement of your hand, every word from your tongue, and every thought in your heart. Understand that what may seem small, invisible, or insignificant to the world, the quiet charity you gave when no one was watching, the suppressed anger in favor of patience, the time spent in reflection, the whispered prayer at night, the forgiveness extended to someone who did not deserve it, or the act of kindness offered without expectation of return. These are all transformed by the purity of your intention into acts that ripple through both the seen and unseen worlds, creating effects that cannot be measured by human understanding. Today, your deeds, performed with a heart seeking only Allah's pleasure, have become more than just actions. They have become miracles that move the unseen, inspire angels, and carry rewards beyond what you can calculate. Because sincerity is a secret language between you and your Creator, a sacred energy that amplifies every effort, purifies every struggle, and transforms even the simplest act into a vehicle for divine blessing. Chosen one, realize that when your actions are rooted in sincerity, the barriers of doubt, the whispers of critics, and the distractions of the world cannot diminish their impact. For Allah Himself multiplies and protects these acts, turning them into sources of light, guidance, and mercy that extend far beyond what your eyes can see or your mind can comprehend. The hidden generosity you practice today, the patience you upheld, the prayers whispered with humility, the love extended without recognition, all of this was not wasted, because sincerity is the key that unlocks the door to Allah's delight, and it ensures that every action you perform in His name, no matter how hidden or modest, leaves a lasting spiritual mark, touches hearts in ways you may never witness, shields you from unseen harm, and becomes a source of blessings that will follow you in this life and the next. So never underestimate the transformative power of a sincere heart, for today, by Allah's will, your sincerity has converted your deeds into miracles, elevated your soul, and brought you closer to the Most Merciful in ways that only the heavens can witness. And in this sacred process, you are reminded that the smallest act done with the purest intention can have eternal consequences, and the quiet, unseen devotion of a sincere servant is more beloved to Allah than the grandeur of actions performed for recognition, applause, or personal gain. For it is sincerity that separates the chosen ones from the rest. It is sincerity that draws divine attention. It is sincerity that magnifies your efforts into miracles. And today, by Allah's grace, every act you performed with true intention became part of a tapestry of divine favor that will never fade, never be erased, and will continue to benefit you in ways only Allah knows, proving beyond any doubt that your heart, when aligned with pure intention, has the power to change reality itself, inspire unseen forces, and manifest blessings that are both immediate and eternal. Chosen one, understand this truth with complete clarity and deep reflection. When your heart aligns with the pleasure of Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, every moment of your existence transforms into an act of devotion. Every thought becomes a form of worship, and every breath you take resonates in harmony with divine will, because the heart that seeks Allah's satisfaction is not distracted by fleeting recognition, the applause of people, or the temptations of this transient world, but instead moves steadily, quietly, and powerfully along the path that leads to eternal delight. Realize that today, everything you did, every word you spoke, every decision you made, and every restraint you practiced was recorded in the heavens not merely as action, but as a reflection of the alignment of your heart with Allah's pleasure. And this alignment is what elevates ordinary acts into extraordinary blessings, transforms trials into growth, and makes patience, obedience, and sincerity resonate across the unseen realms. Chosen one, when your intentions are pure and your devotion is sincere, even the smallest act becomes monumental in the sight of your Lord, and the angels rejoice in witnessing your alignment with the Most Merciful, celebrating the purity, devotion, and steadfastness of a heart that seeks nothing but divine approval. For such a heart becomes a beacon, a source of guidance, and a magnet for blessings that cascade in ways both seen and unseen. And today, by Allah's will, your choices, your sacrifices, and your efforts have created ripples in the heavens, calling forth mercy, protection, and elevation, because the universe itself responds to a heart that moves in tandem with divine pleasure. Understand this deeply: every moment of obedience, every act of kindness, every instance of patience, and every step taken in humility is a thread in a tapestry that Allah is weaving for you, a tapestry that reflects His delight, His honor, and His profound love for those who walk in sincerity and devotion. And the alignment of your heart with His pleasure ensures that the challenges you face are transformed into milestones of spiritual elevation. The burdens you carry become sources of unseen strength, and the blessings you give and receive are multiplied beyond comprehension. Chosen one, today, your heart's alignment with Allah's pleasure was witnessed in the unseen, celebrated by angels, and recorded in ways that will manifest in your life, in your soul, and in your destiny, because nothing done with pure devotion is ever lost, and every act performed in alignment with divine will carries the power to change your reality, protect you from harm, and prepare you for levels of mercy, honor, and closeness to Allah that surpass human imagination. Remember that this alignment is not merely a state of feeling, it is a spiritual reality, a sacred condition, and a divine confirmation that your heart is moving in harmony with the one who sees, knows, and rewards every intention. And by keeping your heart centered on Allah's pleasure, you create a life that is not only blessed but profoundly impactful, a life where your actions, choices, and even your silent struggles become instruments of divine delight, eternal recognition, and spiritual elevation. Because a heart aligned with Allah's pleasure carries the universe within it, inspires unseen forces, and touches both heaven and earth in ways that are beyond human comprehension. And today, by Allah's grace, your alignment was perfect, your devotion was accepted, and your heart became a sanctuary of divine pleasure, a reality that the heavens celebrated quietly, a reality that continues to elevate you as a chosen one, and a reality that ensures that every effort, every trial, and every act of obedience you perform henceforth will be magnified, multiplied, and cherished in ways only Allah, the most merciful, fully knows. Chosen one, open your heart to this profound truth, because it is a reality that transforms the way you understand your life, your efforts, and your purpose. Every act of goodness, every gesture of mercy, every whisper of prayer, every moment of patience, and every restraint from wrongdoing, no matter how invisible or seemingly insignificant, is witnessed by Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, and recorded in the unseen realms with a magnitude far beyond human comprehension. Understand that the smallest light you emit, the quietest act of obedience, the tiniest spark of sincerity in your intentions carries with it consequences that ripple across the heavens and the earth, creating blessings that can touch countless lives, affect unseen circumstances, and even alter destinies in ways that only Allah knows. For the universe responds to sincere light, and nothing done with purity is ever wasted, unseen, or ignored. Chosen one, even if your efforts feel unnoticed, even if the world overlooks your sacrifices, even if hearts fail to recognize your struggles, the smallest light you release is celebrated in ways that transcend time, space, and perception. For angels bear witness, record your deeds with reverence, and convey them before Allah as proof of your devotion, your patience, and your steadfastness. And the heavens themselves rejoice quietly over the persistence of your faith and the purity of your actions. Reflect deeply. The act of helping someone without expecting recognition, the moment you controlled your anger when provoked, the smile you offered in the midst of darkness, the prayer you whispered in solitude, the forgiveness you extended to those who wronged you, the restraint from sin when desire called, and the choices you made to remain aligned with Allah's guidance, all of these seemingly small lights are monumental in the scale of divine measurement. And today, by Allah's will, they have illuminated paths unseen, protected you from harm unknown, and prepared the way for blessings, guidance, and elevation that you cannot yet perceive, because Allah multiplies the reward of every sincere act, turning minor efforts into major miracles and making what seems small a source of enduring power, protection, and spiritual influence. Chosen one, realize that the smallest act of light today is a shield for tomorrow, a sign of divine favor, a ripple that reaches the lives of those you may never meet, and a bridge between your earthly journey and heavenly reward. For Allah's delight does not depend on the applause of humans, but on the alignment of your intentions with His pleasure. And when you act in sincerity, even in secrecy, your actions become a force that shapes the unseen, influences destiny, and draws the mercy of the most merciful in ways that are beyond measure, beyond imagination, and beyond human comprehension. Every act you perform today, every effort you made to choose the right over the easy, to forgive rather than retaliate, to give without expecting, to pray without distraction, to resist temptation, and to remain steadfast in faith, even if invisible to others, was recorded, celebrated, and multiplied, creating a tapestry of light in the unseen that continues to grow, expand, and influence your life and the lives of countless others. And, chosen one, never forget that your smallest lights are never small in the eyes of Allah, for they illuminate your path, attract unseen blessings, inspire angels, shield you from hidden harm, prepare you for future elevation, and serve as evidence of your steadfastness, patience, and sincerity. Understand that today, by Allah's grace, your actions, no matter how subtle, have become monumental in the heavens, a source of divine delight and a reflection of the purity and resilience of your heart, proving that the smallest light emitted with true intention is never wasted, never overlooked, and never powerless, and that even the quietest act done in obedience to Allah carries the power to transform reality, touch eternity, and elevate the chosen one to levels of closeness, honor, and divine recognition that the world cannot see but the heavens celebrate in silent awe. Chosen one, pause for a moment and let this truth penetrate the depths of your heart, because what I am about to reveal is not just a lesson. It is a divine reality that defines your existence and elevates your soul beyond what the world can ever comprehend. Today, every thought you held, every action you performed, every intention you nurtured, every prayer you whispered in solitude, every act of patience when the world tried to shake you, every word spoken in truth, every restraint from anger or desire, every instance of mercy shown to those who wronged you, every act of kindness offered without expectation, every moment you resisted despair, and every step you took along the path of obedience was witnessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a way so profound that it transcends human perception, for the heavens themselves observed the alignment of your heart with divine pleasure, and angels celebrated quietly, recording each moment with reverence, joy, and awe, because the most merciful delights in the sincerity, steadfastness, and devotion of His chosen servants. And today, by Allah's grace, you became part of a sacred reality where your actions were not merely deeds, but portals through which heaven itself recognized, honored, and elevated you. Chosen one, understand this deeply touching heaven is not about grandeur, worldly recognition, or visible rewards, but about the intimate connection between your heart and Allah, a connection that transforms ordinary acts into extraordinary blessings, that turns trials into triumphs, that magnifies patience, obedience, and sincerity into celestial celebrations, and that manifests divine pleasure in ways that ripple across both the seen and unseen worlds, creating effects that no human eye can perceive, but which shape your destiny, protect your soul, and prepare you for levels of elevation that are unimaginable to those who walk only in comfort and ignorance. Today, every silent struggle you endured, every injustice you bore with grace, every temptation you resisted, and every decision made to follow the path of righteousness over ease became part of a tapestry woven by the Most Merciful, a tapestry where your devotion shines as a beacon, your heart's alignment resonates in the unseen, and your soul experiences a taste of eternal delight, a reality where heaven and earth converge in recognition of your chosen status, where mercy descends upon you quietly but powerfully, and where divine delight fills the unseen realms because of your steadfastness and sincerity. Chosen one, realize that your presence, your actions, and your heart today created ripples that will extend far beyond this moment, touching lives, unseen forces, and circumstances in ways you may never witness, for Allah multiplies the reward of every act performed with pure intention, transforms the smallest gesture into monumental blessings, and ensures that the devotion of His chosen servants leaves a lasting imprint in eternity. The prayers you offered, the patience you maintained, the love you extended, the forgiveness you granted, the restraint you exercised, and the devotion you exhibited, even if unnoticed by those around you, were not in vain, because Allah saw them, the angels recorded them, and the heavens rejoiced quietly on your behalf, celebrating your alignment with divine will, your steadfastness in trials, and your unwavering pursuit of pleasure in the Most Merciful. Chosen one, today, through your actions and intentions, you were not only performing deeds, you were entering a sacred realm where your heart resonated with heaven, where your soul experienced the delight of Allah, where your patience, obedience, and sincerity were transformed into lights that illuminate unseen realms, and where your chosen status as a servant, beloved by the Most Merciful, was confirmed in ways that transcend human comprehension. Understand fully that every act of devotion today, every prayer, every moment of patience, every instance of mercy, every act of generosity, every restraint from sin, every effort to remain steadfast under trials, was a step into divine proximity, a touch of heaven, and a manifestation of Allah's delight. For when your heart is pure, your intentions sincere, and your obedience unwavering, even the smallest acts become monumental. Even the quietest prayers reach the heavens with force. Even the most subtle acts of mercy create eternal ripples, and even the hidden struggles of your soul become evidence of your elevation, recognition, and celebration in the unseen realms. Chosen one, know that today, by Allah's will, you touched heaven not metaphorically, not symbolically, but in a reality so profound that the angels witnessed, the unseen forces celebrated, and the Most Merciful Himself delighted in your devotion, marking you as a servant whose heart is aligned perfectly with divine pleasure, whose soul is being elevated step by step, and whose journey as a chosen one is affirmed through the recognition of both heaven and earth, proving beyond any doubt that every moment of sincerity, patience, mercy, and obedience carries the power to bridge the earthly and the eternal, to transform life into an act of worship, and to manifest divine favor in ways that continue to ripple through your destiny for the rest of your existence, leaving you spiritually elevated, divinely recognized, eternally celebrated, and assured that today, chosen one, you truly touched heaven. Chosen one, take a moment and let this sink into your heart. Everything you have done, every act of patience, every whisper of prayer, every instance of mercy, every choice to obey, and every effort to remain steadfast in faith has not gone unnoticed. For the heavens have watched, the angels have celebrated, and Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, is beyond delighted with what you did today. Understand this truth deeply. Your worth is not measured by human recognition, applause, or fleeting achievements, but by the sincerity of your intentions, the steadfastness of your heart, and the alignment of your soul with the Most Merciful. And even the smallest light you emit, the quietest act of devotion, And the unseen moments of obedience carry eternal weight, create ripples in the unseen realms, and touch hearts in ways you may never realize. Chosen one, the trials you endure, the patience you maintain, the mercy you extend, and the struggles you transform into acts of faith are not meaningless. They are the evidence of your elevation, the proof of your closeness to Allah, and the reason the heavens rejoice over you, quietly celebrating your devotion, honoring your heart, and magnifying your deeds in ways that surpass human comprehension. So continue walking your path with unwavering faith, acting with pure intention, and shining with patience, mercy, and obedience, knowing that every act performed for Allah alone shapes your destiny, touches unseen worlds, and positions you for blessings, honor, and recognition that the world cannot see but the heavens applaud, because today was only a glimpse of what Allah has in store for you, and your journey as a chosen one is unfolding in ways greater than you can imagine, proving beyond any doubt that you are seen, celebrated, elevated, and eternally cherished. And as long as your heart remains aligned with divine pleasure, the most merciful is pleased, the angels rejoice, your light continues to shine, and your destiny will unfold exactly as it was written in the heavens, with every step you take bringing you closer to the eternal delight, honor, and recognition reserved for those whom Allah has chosen.